Elise Stefanik is with us. We appreciate her being on the program to give us a preview of tonight and get her take on Balloon Gate. How are you, Congressman? Glad you could join us.
I'm doing well, Sean. Great to be with you. I think what we're going to hear tonight is a weak president and a weak commander-in-chief. Joe Biden is going to double down on his failed far-left policies that have caused so many crises in this country, whether it's the latest national security crisis with the communist Chinese spy balloon flying across U.S. airspace, over military installations. Again, this is absolutely unacceptable. And what did Joe Biden project? Weakness, not strength. The border crisis, which his policies caused, continues to rage. His anti-law enforcement agenda and his appeasement to the radical far left, which has led us to $31 trillion in national debt. So he's going to double down. And the American people are smart. They know that the State of the Union is not strong right now. It's weaker because of Joe Biden.
He's going into tonight with a very low approval rating. Just Democrats were asked, do you want Joe Biden to seek a second term? In October of last year, it was 52%. Now it's 37%. What's happened?
Well, they are seeing just his weakness. And, you know, at every crisis, which his policies created, by the way, he's just failing. And, you know, whether it was the catastrophic withdrawal of Afghanistan, asserting weakness around the globe, our adversaries are watching, and he has been tested, and he has failed. This latest test of the Chinese spy balloon flying across the United States, Joe Biden failed. And as a result, America is viewed as weaker around the world. I sit on the House Armed Services Committee and the House Intelligence Committee, Sean, and I will tell you, we are demanding briefings as to the national security implications of the fact that Joe Biden failed to act, let it fly over the United States, and didn't deal with it in the Pacific, which is what they should have done, waited for it to fly over, and dealt with it in the Atlantic.
You know, I think you really have hit on every big theme here. Number one, crime is out of control. The Democratic Party is given into their radical extremists, and that means no bail laws, defund, dismantling police departments. The crisis at the border, I mean, I can't believe it's nearly 1 million people this year alone that have entered this country illegally, just a little shy of 800,000 on top of the 5 million in the first 5 million plus in the first 2 years of Biden's administration. Gas prices, even though they went down for a short period of time, with a Band-Aid solution of tapping half of our strategic petroleum reserves, you know, now gas is back up, over $1 a gallon from what he inherited when he became president. He's now pretty much shut down most domestic production of oil, gas, and coal. I don't think that's working out well for people either.
No, it's not. And I'll tell you, in my district, it's not just the gas prices. It's the home heating bills. It's utility bills. People can't afford to live in America under Joe Biden, and they are doing nothing. And House Republicans are leading. We have already passed legislation to unleash American energy independence. We have passed legislation to be tough on China and support the Select China Committee, which is Republican-led. This was an initiative that we tried to pursue. House Democrats initially refused, and we actually did get some House Democrats to vote for it, even though their leadership refused to address this. And I will also tell you, Sean, our oversight work in terms of the work that Jim Jordan is doing, the work that Jamie Comer's doing, the work that I'm doing, whether it's on the Oversight Committee or the Select Committee on Political Weaponization, that's going to be some of the most important work of this majority, because it's going to bring transparency to crimes that were committed, to the weaponization of these federal agencies against the American people, and to the illicit dealings of Hunter Biden and the big guy, which is Joe Biden. There is corruption, and we are going to stand up to bring transparency and accountability.
Can you explain all these stories describing thousands and thousands of acres of American farmland, ranch land, land near military installations being bought up by the communist Chinese through, I guess, Chinese nationals? Why are we allowing that to happen?
We should never allow it to happen, and I actually have a bill to stop that from happening. China should not be able to make investments in our agricultural land or our ag businesses. It's a national security risk. And what also is very concerning is much of that agricultural land is around military installations. So there's major intel problems with that as well, major national security risks. We need to have food security. That is an important part of national security. That means having a strong domestic agricultural production supply chain. I represent a very large number of farmers in my district in upstate New York, a large number of ag businesses, and we want to make sure those are American made, American produced, and China's not able to get into our food supply system. My bill would do that. House Republicans are going to focus on this as part of the Ag Committee and the Farm Bill, but also this Select China Committee.
All right, quick break. Right back more with Congresswoman Elise Stefanik of New York on the other side. Then we'll get to your calls, 800-941-SEAN, our number if you want to be a part of the program. We continue our preview of tonight's State of the Union address with Congresswoman Elise Stefanik of New York. One programming reminder, Hannity will be on right after the State of the Union. I think when you just look at the numbers, pure and simple, I mean, he is not having a popular presidency. Now the big issue on the economy is going to be the debt ceiling issue. Joe Biden came out immediately and said there'll be no negotiation. Since then, Kevin McCarthy was called to the White House to meet with Biden. I interviewed him the night of that meeting, and he said it went pretty well, but they agreed to talk in the future, but they didn't make any agreements. To me, I think the Democrats have made a strategic decision that they do not believe. They're betting against the Republicans uniting all 222 on a plan that would bring some fiscal sanity and responsibility to the budgetary process. And I think they bet against it. And I'm betting that the Republicans will unite behind a single plan. And at that point, they'll have no choice. If they want the debt ceiling increase, they'll have no choice but to deal with you.
We are going to rally, and we are unified. And I know, Sean, that we had a conversation and an interview after the speaker's vote. It was important to go through that process. We are a strong team, and look at what we've accomplished on the floor already. We've defunded Joe Biden's army of IRS agents. As I said, we've passed legislation to increase our energy independence. We've set up these new select committees to go after China, our top adversary in the 21st century, but to go after the political weaponization of these federal agencies. And we are going to unify, and we are committed to bringing our budget back towards balance, standing up for fiscal responsibility. And you don't need to look any further than Joe Biden's previous statements before he was president. He actually voted no on a debt ceiling increase and said we need to bring back fiscal responsibility when he was in the Senate. He led the negotiations in 2011, saying that we need to come to solutions to find savings. So these are.
By the way, he's the one that said in 2011, you can't be it's my way or the highway type of person.
Absolutely.
And the point is, he's obviously changed his tune.
He has changed his tune, and I will tell you, having Kevin McCarthy in that meeting, that was a win because the White House said they were going to refuse to negotiate with us. It was Kevin that demanded that meeting. Joe Biden didn't want to go along with it. So House Republicans have a seat at the table on behalf of the American people.
Well, let me ask you, because there's at least 15 plans that I've been made aware of in the last couple of weeks. Does there seem to be one plan that is emerging that everybody seemingly will go along with?
Yes, we are making sure all of our members can bring their ideas to the table, including looking at the hundreds of billions of unspent COVID funds, looking at the Green New Deal provisions, looking at the woke policies in DOD. Every committee is going to look for savings of waste, fraud, and abuse. And our members are bringing their ideas to the table. This is a process. This is a negotiation, and we will unify, but we're going to be stronger for every member being a part of this discussion on behalf of their constituents.